Canada just banned its salmon farms in British Columbia. This will cost them 6,000 jobs, $880 million per year, as well as 86,000 tons of fresh salmon annually. Seems nuts, doesn't it? But I'm actually for that decision, and here is why. When you have an open net pen full of Atlantic salmon in the Pacific Ocean, some of them escape. Or, as it happened in 2017 in Washington, the whole pen collapsed and all 300,000 of them escaped. The problem is that Pacific salmon species had a bad couple of years. And now having to combat the invasive Atlantic salmon species in addition makes their life even more difficult. Hence, wild populations of Pacific salmon are declining. Also, one of the biggest problems of open net farming is sea lice infestation. Sea lice are parasites that latch onto a fish and feed off of it. So, same as a small kid that goes into a candy store when a small sea louse discovers a pan full of 300,000 juicy salmon, it starts going bananas. And it also replicates like crazy. Hence, you get these epicenters of sea lice infestation, and if the wild salmon swim nearby, they can also get some, which can be deadly. The solution, you ask? Closed containment farming systems, preferably on land. With such a system, the fish can't really escape, and even if it did, it isn't gonna steal your car from a concrete parking lot. Another benefit is, if you are careful, you won't get any sea lice infestation. And you technically can operate 100% disease and medicament free. You just need a couple of big tanks and a good filtration system. Well, okay, that might be too optimistic. When I was on a shrimp farm in Indianapolis, it worked like that. They were growing Atlantic white prawns in saltwater tanks and had success with it. But salmon doesn't just live in the sea. It spawns in freshwater rivers, prepares its organs to breathe in saltwater, goes into the ocean, does its thing, and then returns upstream each year to lay eggs. So if you would wanna farm it in a land-based facility, you would have to provide replicas of all the habitats. For example, they use small tanks with pebbles to replicate the riverbed to hatch the eggs. Then you need a couple of freshwater tanks and a couple more of saltwater tanks to move the fish around as they grow. Now, some of the facilities wanted to minimize the stress they would create by handling the fish when taking it from one tank to another. So what they did is they connected all of the tanks with tubing. This way the fish never has to leave the water and gets a quick theme park ride into its new home every once in a while. But while this whole system protects the wild environment and the native salmon species, it also increases the production cost by a lot. Let's make a quick comparison. To farm salmon in the sea, you need a permit, the open net pens, a boat, some salmon, loads of feed, and employees. To farm salmon on land, you also need a permit, but then you need to buy the whole building, install the tanks and filtration, have your devices running 24/7 and pay the energy costs for that. Then you need to somehow get the salt water, the salmon feed, and also employees. When looking at the costs, sea farms obviously look more attractive. But this could be offset to a certain degree through improved mortality rates in the indoor facilities. The mortality of salmon farmed at the sea can be as high as 17%. So if you could provide more favorable conditions in your tanks, fewer of them will die and you will generate more revenue. Normally you should have only a couple of fish per 1,000 dying and not 17%. Overall, the indoor farming method has its flaws, as you can see, but it isn't all that bad of an idea. And most importantly, we sort of have to make it work, otherwise we won't be eating salmon anymore. Thanks for watching.